Hello everyone and welcome to our Game Week 9 prediction video. You can see the scores over there on the left hand side. I had an absolute belter. 40 points.
Is that including my score tonight?
Yes it is, yeah, I did put that in. I got 3 results correct. Almost 4 if Bournemouth had held on to their 3-2 win at Palace. I would have got a 4th correct result. Really good result for me. So that puts me top, Dan at 10-13 points behind. Lee now beginning. There's a gap emerging there, isn't there?
Shearer was miles behind, and Lee's starting to fall into that gap.
Shearer's over 100 as well. Yeah. We should have a celebration for Shearer. He's over 100, and he's now beginning to sniff Lee to see whether he can catch up, and Lee will be bottom before we know it.
He started so strongly as well.
He did really start strongly. We're into game week number 9. Worryingly, West Ham are going to start us off. So normally, I said earlier, with the way we obviously did a watch along earlier tonight. We're recording this the night after, or the same night after the Brentford West Ham game. And I said that it's actually kind of nice because on a Monday night, the day's already shit. It's Monday. No one likes Mondays. So the fact that West Ham have been absolutely fucking horrific and suicide-inducing, it doesn't matter because Monday's already shit. It hasn't ruined my weekend. We're playing on Friday, Dan.
Kick off the weekend.
Kick off the weekend in a way like that is not really what I wanted. Leeds against West Ham United is the Friday night football this week. I'm going to let you go first with this one. Please be kind.
I'm not going to be kind. I'm going to go 2-0 Leeds. Leeds actually have one of the better, I don't know how you word it, but expected goals conceded. Theirs is actually one of the better.
Right, so what, as in like they're expected to not concede that many goals is what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah. That's how I was trying to say it. I didn't know how to word it.
Yeah, if their defence is decent in general, which I think I agree with you it is, then West Ham are exactly the sort of team you want to play if you're looking for another clean sheet. West Ham are fucking woeful at the moment, and it pains me to say this, but I don't see anything other than a Leeds win. As I said before, when I do West Ham, when we're playing as bad as we are, my head says one thing, my heart says another. My heart tells me that West Ham are going to turn up and it can't be as bad as tonight, and there's going to be a reaction and maybe we'll get a result. My brain is telling me, nah. My brain is telling me no, there's no way we're getting a result away at Leeds. So I'm going to go for a middle ground and say 1-1.
Okay.
And pray that we can get a point. A point does us no good, really.
Yeah.
We need 3. But for the purposes of trying to do well in this prediction league, I'm going to go with a 1-1 and sort of play the fence, if you like, and go the full Keir Starmer and sit on the fence. Right then, into the Saturday football. Chelsea against Sunderland.
It's a tough game.
It is. Sunderland away from home, different beast though. If this was at Sunderland, I could be tempted to back Sunderland to get something, maybe a point.
Yeah.
But at Chelsea, I think Chelsea are just beginning to show signs themselves of a little bit of form. They were woeful against Forest in the first half, but in the second half they were very good and they battered Forest in the second half. I do think Maresca, the jury is still out for me on him a little bit in terms of how he picks the team, his subs and that sort of thing. Because even though he made really good subs to change the game, you could also flip that and say, well, it was your fault for picking a shit starting 11. So you sort of give and take there. I do think Chelsea are going to win this game though. I think it's going to be tight. I think Sunderland will score. I'm going to say 2-1 Chelsea.
Yeah, that's the same I was going to say. I think Sunderland aren't too bad defensively, so I don't see Chelsea smashing them. And Sunderland are, they do score goals, so I'd be surprised if Chelsea managed to keep a clean sheet because they're not the best at the back. No,
they've got 1 or 2 players coming back. Obviously, she's got Chalobah back. That Achimpong, how you pronounce his name, looks decent. Achimpong, yeah. He looks decent. I think Fofana must be back soon. I think it was only a concussion he had, so it must have been a very bad one to miss as long as he had. So I think there's players there.
I think 2-1 as well to Chelsea. Newcastle, Fulham. See, Fulham are a funny one. They can be quite good defensively, but I feel like I don't think
goals is their problem.
Yeah, I think Jimenez is back now. So they were both injured.
Yeah, I think he played against Arsenal
Yeah.
last weekend, yeah.
So I put 2-0 to Arsenal because I knew that Fulham struggled to score, but they were okay defensively. But it ended up being 1-0 in the end. So I'm half tempted to go... Oh, that was at Fulham though, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
I'm going to say... So I don't think Fulham will score against Newcastle. I don't know if to go 1-0 or 2-0. I'm going to say 1-0. Oh, it goes back. I'm going to go 1-0 Newcastle.
1-0 Newcastle. I think... I mean, I didn't see much of the Newcastle-Brighton game. I'm going based on what Shearer said, and he said that he said Brighton played really well.
Yeah.
And he said Newcastle weren't really at it. So I think there's going to be a response here from Newcastle. I think they could hurt Fulham quite heavily. I think Joachim Anderson, I don't know what his injuries. He went off injured against Arsenal. I don't know how bad it is, whether he's going to miss this game or not. But he's a massive player for Fulham. I think Newcastle are going to comfortably win this one. I'm going to say Newcastle are going to win this 3-0. I think they're going to put Fulham to the sword. Yeah. Manchester United against Brighton. I think I get the honours for this one.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've just done a United video, which would have been out a few days ago by the time this video goes out. United are in a good spot, but Brighton are a very difficult side to predict. I think there's going to be goals in this game. United never make things easy for themselves, even when they do win games. It's always full of suspense and worry, I guess, if you're a United fan. I can see this being a draw, if I'm being honest. Or do I think United will nick it? Do you know what? For the sake of you, because you're in a good mood, for the sake of the United Strand man, who probably just wants to cut his hair, doesn't he? I'm going to say 2-1 United.
Okay. I'm actually going to go for a 2-2 draw.
Okay.
I think it'd go either way. I think we could win it. I think they could win it. I think it really depends which team turns up on the day. I know that sounds like a Michael Owen quote. Almost, I think whoever scores the most goals is going to win it. Yeah, I really can't call that one. Like, Brighton are so unpredictable. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Brighton obviously getting a really good result against Newcastle. It would not surprise me if Brighton turned up and did nothing, and United comfortably beat them. As you say, they are probably. Are they the hardest team to predict?
Yeah, I think
in the
so.
league. I think they probably are. For Brighton fans, it must be so frustrating seeing the sort of performances they know the team can put in, but then just not sort of doing it consistently. Brentford against Liverpool. Well, I mean, if Brentford play at the weekend like they played against West Ham tonight, they are going to cause Liverpool a ton of problems.
They'll have to put away their chances, though.
Yes, they won't be able to get away with it like they did tonight because Liverpool will get chances themselves. But I think the way that Liverpool defend at the moment, Van Dijk is nowhere near at it. I think Kerkez is a problem. I don't think he's playing that well. Konate was good in this game, but I think Konate across the season hasn't been great either. I think Brentford... I smell an upset here.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
I see the opposite. I think Liverpool will...
It will click.
They'll have to turn it around. 4 losses in a row. I hope Brentford win, but I don't see it. I don't think it will necessarily click. I think they'll just get their foot over the line and get a win. Score. Do I think Brentford scored? I could see them getting 1. I think 3-1 Liverpool.
3-1 Liverpool. Okay. I'm not seeing anything from Liverpool at the moment that makes me think that they're close to clicking. There's so many of their players are out of form, and I think here's the thing, right? If Slot changes his team, pulls people out of that team that shouldn't be in there right now based on form, like Salah, like Wirtz, I think Liverpool will probably go on and win this game because then they maybe stop putting square pegs round holes all the time. But if he continues with the same players, Salah, I think, did get subbed at the weekend, but not until very late. If you continue to force Salah into this team, if you continue to play Isak, even though his form is woeful and he doesn't look match fit at all, I think they're going to struggle again. And I think that Brentford could get a result here. So I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. I think Brentford, with those long throws, with the direct football, I think they're really going to struggle. Right back as well is still a problem for Liverpool. They've got Frimpong, but they don't want to play him.
Yeah.
They keep playing Szoboszlai there, who's arguably one of their best midfielders.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and I think Kirkez against that Ratara is a real handful. I think he could cause Kirkez a lot of problems. So, yeah, I'm backing Brentford to get a result there. 2-2 in that one for me. Who's that? Arsenal Palace, sorry. Yeah, I haven't got my glasses on, so it's a bit blurry. Arsenal Palace. What are you thinking?
I think
who's
Palace.
First for this one? Is it me?
Yes, you. I think Palace could put up a fight against Arsenal.
I think this is a really interesting one because I think Glasner is the sort of manager who he's not going to go there and lay down.
No.
He's one of the few managers that doesn't have this inferiority complex like so many others do. That he will quite happily go there and have a go. Arsenal have yet to be really fully convincing for me. That they're sort of doing what championship teams do at the moment. They're winning games while they're not playing at the top of their game. I think Gyökeres is still a mile off it for me. He doesn't look like a Premier League striker at the moment. Saka is still carrying the team in certain scenarios. Obviously, defensively, they're very, very strong. Midfield, they're very strong. I think... This is really tricky, this. I mean, that Crystal Palace Bournemouth game last weekend was one of the best games of football I've seen for ages. It was so refreshing to see two teams just fucking going at it. And, you know, maybe if you're a fan of those teams, maybe it was a bit too open for your liking. But from a neutral, it was almost like a bit of a throwback match to sort of the good old days of the Premier League where teams were just throwing caution to the wind. So for that reason... I think it will be a close game because I think Palace are going to go for it, but I think Arsenal might just get over the line. I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal.
I'm going to risk it. I'm going to go 2-1 Palace.
I hope they do, because from a title fight perspective, it's going to be incredible. If not one team is really running away with it, it's going to make the title fight really interesting, especially in the run-up to Christmas. And I can see it. Palace are a real handful. They've got some really good players. They're playing great. I think it's doable. Right, Aston Villa against Manchester City.
Yeah, Villa's starting to pick up a bit of form now. So is City. City had a little bit of a stumbling start, but they seem to have found a bit of rhythm. No thanks to Haaland.
Bloke's a robot, isn't he?
Yeah,
absolute robot.
I think City will edge this one out. I mean, Villa did really well to beat Tottenham at the weekend, but I still think City just look like a well-oiled machine at the moment. I mean, everything is going through Haaland, but he's just literally everything he's touching is turning to gold at the moment. Yeah. And makes FPL a bit boring because you've just got to captain Haaland.
Who else do you captain?
You cannot captain anyone else.
No.
So I think City will win. Do I think Villa? No, I don't think Villa will score. I think 2-0 City.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I don't think this is quite as cut and dry. I've watched Man City on several occasions this year, and I watched them against Brentford last week, for example. And I triple captain Haaland that week, as I think I mentioned this before. And they should have gone on from that game and destroyed them. They were so dominant, and then they just let their foot off the gas.
Is that when they won 1-0?
Yeah, and they just don't look like they're as ruthless as they used to be. Even against Everton last weekend, they probably should have done more than they did. And at the moment, obviously, I know everything that Haaland touches is turning into goal. He didn't really have a great deal else going on in that game, and all of a sudden he gets 2 chances and bang, he scored 2 goals. As a goal scorer, he is one of the best in our lifetimes. As an all-round player, obviously, we'll have that debate until we're blue in the face, but I just don't know whether or not Villa can contain him in this sort of form. And at the moment, as you say, because everything he touches is going in, he's going to score. But if they can find a way to stop him, I'm not sure who else is scoring in this Man City team. And that worries me a little bit. And they're always good for a goal conceded, usually. Everton were unlucky. They had a couple of decent chances at the weekend. So I think Villa will score, but like you, I do think City will win. So I'm going to go for... I'm going to go... do I go 3-1? That's probably pushing it. Based on everything I've just said, to then say 3-1 would be a bit
They don't
heavy.
really score other than Haaland. 5-1.
I'll go 2-1 City. I think Villa will score. They found their mojo again, Villa, and I think there'll be a handful for City. So yeah, 2-1 there for me. Bournemouth against Nottingham Forest. I mean, Nottingham Forest are a bit of a basket case at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah.
Which makes me feel marginally better about West Ham. That there's another club going through it as well. I feel for Nottingham Forest because their heads and minds must have been full of so much hope and optimism at the start of this season. Made some good signings. They're in the Europa League, and you must be thinking to yourself, like, what a time to be a Nottingham Forest fan at the start of this season, and what a difference 8 weeks can make, or 2 months, however long it is since the season started. They've lost Nuno. They've lost the man that engineered it all last season. It all ended horribly with Marinakis, who keeps putting himself in the limelight. They then get Anjin, who, obviously comes in with a certain style of football. They obviously want to try and push forward. So I don't necessarily blame them for that appointment. I did sort of raise my eyebrow at it because I wasn't sure that him and Marinakis were ever going to see eye to eye.
Yeah.
There were rumours of a bit of a tunnel bust up between the two of them. I don't know whether that was
really?
true. Yeah, there was rumours that it got quite heated and a few fists were thrown. I think we would have seen more about that story if that was true. So I don't think that is true. But now it seems like they're going for Sean Dyche. So it seems like they've pressed the panic button already and getting a manager in like Dyche who's just a keep them in the league type manager. So I don't really know what to think with Forest. They look so good in that first half against Chelsea. For the first time, it looked like finally Andrew's getting a tune out of them. But as soon as they didn't score and they wasted some really good chances, you just sort of knew what was going to happen. You knew that Chelsea were going to come out and take the 3 points. So, yeah, I think Bournemouth could have a field day here, unfortunately. Too soon for Dyche to really make a proper impact on this team, I think. So I'm going to go for a heavy Bournemouth win. I'm going for a 3-0 Bournemouth win.
Yeah, I was going to say 3-0 as well.
Bournemouth are in a good... They look so good against Palace. They've looked so good this season. Look at where they are on the table.
Yeah. So,
yeah, I worry for Forest in this one, unfortunately. Relegation 6-pointer, maybe. Wolves against Burnley.
Yeah, do you know what? I think Wolves could get a result here. Burnley have been all right this season so far.
At home, though.
At home. They were all right against us, to be fair, when they came to Old Trafford. Scored 2 goals. Wolves have got to turn it around at some point. They've not been terrible. I think you were saying that West Ham have been worse than Wolves have.
100%. Wolves' results have not been always indicative of their performances. They went ahead against Spurs, against Brighton. I couldn't see the game out, got a draw both times. They were really unfortunate in those games, and the league table would look very different if they got 3 points in both of those games. So from a West Ham fan, I'm very happy they didn't get the result, but there are signs of life there. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could be completely wrong with this one, but I'm going to go for a 1-0 Wolves win. Yeah,
I was thinking the same. I don't want Wolves to win for selfish reasons. Yeah. But I do think that I can see Wolves getting a result here. And this is make no mistake, 8 games in, 9 games in, whatever, this is a massive game for both of these teams. There's a chance and a risk, I suppose, they cancel each other out. And it ends like 0-0 or something like that. But I'm gonna be boring and say the same thing. Actually, do you know what? I'll say the same result, but I'll say 2-1 Wolves. So I'll be slightly different. And finally, Everton against Tottenham. Tottenham probably not a million miles away from Brighton in terms of difficult to predict. Spurs being Spursy, what's new, etc. I was looking at their squad and stuff. I just wonder if they've got a bit of an imbalance in their attacking line. They've got some really talented players in there. But
I think striker position they're lacking a bit, to be honest. I mean, they've got like 4 strikers, but none of them. I mean, Richarlison, I'm not really a fan of.
No, I mean he had a little burst at the start of the season.
Yeah.
Everyone went a bit mad, didn't they? Everyone put him in their FPL teams, and then he's done nothing since.
I'm not really a fan of Matthias Tell.
No, likewise, I think he looks dreadful.
Solanke seems to be injured quite a lot.
Yeah.
And Kolo Muani, we've not really seen much of him, but when he came on against Villa, I wasn't really that impressed. But I think he's been injured, so maybe he needs a few minutes in his legs to get going.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think that Romero going off injured at the weekend was probably a big thing as well. He's been very good alongside Van der Ven. I just think that Spurs just look a little disjointed.
I mean, in fairness to them, they are missing a lot of key players. Like Kulusevski's out, Maddison's out.
But you say that, but then you look at Kulusevski would play off the right normally.
Yeah.
He? So do they drop Kudus?
I would for Kulusevski. I think
But-
Kulusevski's a better player.
Yeah, I agree. But what does that mean for Kudus then? You spent 60 million on a player. Can they really afford to just put him on the bench because Kulusevski's back?
Yeah, but they're in Europe, so they're both going to get game time, aren't they? You've
True.
got to have squad depth. You can't just say,
Yeah.
we've got one, we can't buy any more. I mean...
Yeah, I'm just thinking. Kudus has probably been their most prolific attacking player
So far,
this
yeah,
season.
he looks really good. Yeah, he's Thomas Frank's new Mbermo, isn't he?
Yes, agreed. Well, I'm just very intrigued to see how it works out with Kudus, because obviously he had a great first season for us as well. He hasn't quite hit the
He's only got 1 goal so far.
exactly. Like he's not hit the heights that he did with us in the first season yet. But I'll be really interested to see is he going to be one of those players as like a 1-season player and then just sort of goes downhill. So yeah, as far as Everton goes, I do like Everton. I think they're doing some good things. They've got some individually good players in there. David Moyes is getting.
They've made some
out
good
of them.
signings in the summer.
Yeah, David Moyes is doing exactly what he did at West Ham in that first season or two. He's getting a tune out of his best players. He's got match winners in his team who can make something happen out of nothing, and he's building them to be resilient defensively. Everton are in a good spot right now, and I think that with Grealish coming back in the side, having not been able to play against City, I'm gonna back Everton.
Mm-hmm.
So is it me to?
Yeah.
It is. I'm gonna say. Do I think this would be low scoring, or do I think there'll be a few goals in this one? Most games with Everton are low scoring, to be honest. I'm going to go for a 1-0 Everton win.
Yeah, I could see it. I'm going to go 1-1, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I could equally see that as well. I think there's obviously enough quality in that Spurs team to score goals. Of course there is. It's just whether or not they can break down what is going to be a very stubborn Everton defence. So, right, there we go. So that's our predictions then for game week 9. We will be back obviously next week for game week number 10. Can I get to 200 points this weekend? I think I might be able to. What's coming up on the channel? Well, we've got more obviously reactionary stuff coming up as well. We've got obviously the LMA series. There is a potential another game series coming up that me and Shearer might be doing. I'm not going to put a date on it at the moment because we haven't started recording, but that might be coming out soon. And there is also talk that table that you see in the background, that one just over there, that might be the new centre for us. We've got some money together thanks to our very generous Patreons, and some money that we had stashed away, so we might be in a position where we start recording our stuff over there rather than just two of us huddled around a computer screen. So we might be moving up in the world. So
Still got the bloody wooden chairs then.
well, at least I'll be in one as well now. And I'll demote myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you very much everyone for watching. I hope you're enjoying the content. If you are, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and hype the video. And we'll see you next time.
See you later.